Hello guys, this is Akafusi, your personal data analyst. This is not my usual weekly video where I talk about best players and best teams. Every week I get some comments from people that say that expected points are useless and real points are what matters in FPL. So I decided to explain why expected points are so useful to predict future points and optimize our FPL teams. In this video, I will show you how well past FPL points actually predict future points, and I will also show you a much better predictor of future performance, the expected points. The results may surprise you because even a small correlation can translate into a big advantage. To test this theory, I looked at how many points each player scored from game weeks 1 to 4 and then compared that to how many they scored from game weeks 5 to 8. I only included players who started at least 3 times in each period, and that left us with 125 players, a solid sample size. I did this to exclude players who missed time through injury because those 0-point weeks can completely distort the data. Here is what I found. The correlation between past points and future points was 0.07, while the correlation between past expected points and future points was 0.14, almost double. That might sound small, but it's meaningful. Still, some people argued that such small correlations proves model are useless. So I decided to put that theory into the test. Before the game week 5 deadline, I built 2 optimal teams. Team A is the optimal team based on expected data, and Team B is the optimal team based on who actually scored the most points in the previous weeks. Then I tracked their performance from game week 5 to game week 10. Team A's expected total points from game week 1 to game week 4 was 258 expected points, or 5.37 points per game per player. Then I tracked their performance from game week 5 to game week 10. They averaged 5.3 points per player per game, pretty much in line with their expected data prediction. So it seems like the expected points are an accurate predictor of future points. Team B, based on past points, had 336 points from game week 1 to game week 4. That's about 7.6 points per player per game. But their expected points were only 5.6, meaning that according to my model, they overperformed. From game week 5 to game week 10, they scored 4.85 points per player per game. So, the difference between expected data prediction and the real outcome was only 0.75 points per player per game. The difference between past point prediction and real outcome was 2 points per player per game. The expected data prediction model was far more accurate than the real points prediction. But the expected data model was not only more accurate but also scored more points. Team A averaged 5.3 points per player per game. Team B averaged 4.85. That's just 0.45 points per player per game. But over a 38-week season with 11 players per fixture, that's 188 points in total. A massive difference that could take you from rank top 500k to top 10k. I uploaded this analysis on Reddit and many of you had great questions about this analysis. So let's go through the most important ones. One of the most common questions was How does the analysis change if you remove the top outliers, probably Haaland, Gabriel or Semenyo? And some even said we should always remove the top scorers since they skew the results. Here's the thing, Haaland is not actually an outlier. He scored 37 real points and he had 43 expected points. That's very close. Here are the top 20 overperformers and underperformers. But I wouldn't call them true outliers. They're just part of natural variance, because in FPL things like this can happen. Some players will score far more or far less than expected. For me, real outliers are those players that affected by injuries or external factors that change their baseline performance. Another common question was, who are the top players in expected points so far? From game week 1 to game week 10, these are the top 10 players in expected points. They should have scored 610 points and they actually scored 612 points. That's almost perfect alignment. And here we can see the epitome of the FPL luck versus skill debate. As a group, they performed exactly as expected. But individually, there were big swings. Mateta scored about 20 fewer points than expected, while Gabriel scored 20 more. Now imagine this. You are choosing between Mateta plus a cheap defender or Gabriel plus cheap forward. You think it's a 50-50 decision, a flip coin, and you pick Mateta. You just lost 40 points. Not because you were wrong, but because you were just unlucky. My favorite comment of all was this. It's a guy that said, if points were a better indicator for future points, expected points would not exist. But the reality is that some people still think expected points are useless and that we should be making decisions based on real points. I've had this conversation a gazillion times.
This player is amazing. He scored 50 points in the last 5 games, so we should buy him.
Yes, but points is not the most important thing. He overperformed his expected data that won't last long.
LOL! FPL is about points, man, not expecting goals and this geeky shit.
So yeah, expected points are not perfect, but they are consistently more reliable than chasing last week's points. If you want to make smarter, less luck-based FPL decisions, keep following the data. Don't forget to like, subscribe and drop your own questions below. I might feature them in the next episode. Thank you and good luck to your teams.